Welcome to Advanced Home Care's OASIS Video Tip of the Month for April 2012. ADL stands for Activities of Daily Living and refers to basic self-care activities like dressing, grooming, and bathing. IADL stands for Instrumental Activities of Daily Living and refers to activities that support ADLs in independent living, such as use of the phone and meal preparation. Common pitfalls. If a patient can perform an ADL or IADL and does not do so because the caregiver does everything for the patient, you need to use your skilled observation and clinical judgment to determine what the patient can do if the caregiver is not involved. If a male patient's wife always prepares meals, you'll need to determine if the patient has the physical, cognitive, and mental ability to prepare a light meal within their diet restrictions. That means that a patient restricted to a pureed or soft diet that can only prepare a sandwich and not items on the prescribed diet would be considered unable to prepare light meals and scored as a 1 or higher on M1880. The presence or absence of a caregiver should not be considered when you're determining the patient's ability to complete ADL or IADL tasks. Remember, during the initial assessment, you should answer OASIS items before teaching or making modifications. Now let's watch a brief video and focus on the patient's ability to function safely.
So Jenny, are you ready to walk?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Would you show me how you normally walk in the around your home setting here?
Okay. All right, that takes a few times. Yeah. Yeah, you have a walker over there. Oh, that's moving now. Yeah. Okay.
In assessing ADLs and IADLs, you need to consider the patient's physical ability, cognitive ability, and judgment. Patient impairments like memory loss or impulsiveness that cause them to be unsafe have to be considered when answering the OASIS questions. How did our patient do? Was she independent ambulating? In our video example, the patient could have been safe using the walker, but she forgets to use it. That impacts the score and results for an OASIS answer on M1860, the patient's current ability to walk safely. Our patient would score 2, requires use of a two-handed device, or 3, able to walk only with the supervision or assistance of another person at all times. She would not score a 0, able to walk independently, because although she chose to walk alone and without the appropriate device, she was not able to do so safely. Don't forget to consider safety as part of your OASIS scoring. Key points to assess ADLs and IADLs. Assess the patient's ability, not their willingness to perform a task. When ability varies between tasks, you must determine the patient's overall ability for the majority of tasks. Safety should be determined through skilled observation, not through interview. Patients should not simply be asked if they can wash their face, brush their teeth, or walk around the house. You have to use observation and demonstration and physical and environmental assessment strategies to determine the patient's ability. Safety is the key to answering all ADL questions. You must look at the technique and equipment they use and determine their potential risk for injury. For example, is a patient really safe using furniture for walking? Just because a patient lives alone or lacks a consistent caregiver does not mean they can independently and safely perform ADLs or IADLs. You have to assess the patient's ability without considering the caregiver. The bottom line, safety is integral to ability. Thank you for watching the Advanced Home Care OASIS Video Tip of the Month for April 2012.